Good morning. I guess it's afternoon on the East Coast. Welcome to Astrology 101. I am your Professor Awesome. I'm also apparently a ghost. um, Welcome on in. Today in Astrology 101, we are going to learn about modalities and we'll talk a little bit about the elements. Our elements: fire, earth, air, and water, and our modalities: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. These are really important in regards to better understanding what each sign is all about, right? Um, if we're talking about a mutable earth sign, we know there's only one mutable earth sign. Welcome, Dimples. What's going on? TG, I saw you. Let me say hi. This TikTok gives me that little thingy thing to do. And if you are watching this in the future, no, you didn't miss me. I do not experience the affliction of daylight savings time where I reside. So I thought that it was 11 o'clock right now. Thanks for the rose. My goal today, my single coin goal, is the team. Join the team. And TikTok is all about that right now. So that's the single coin gift of the moment. You can only send one. Yeah. Oh, you don't either? Awesome. So yeah. All right. We in the same time. We on the same type time. Okay. And daylight savings time is stupid. Thank you for the heart me. Appreciate it. You on the team. Okay. Team astrology. We in here. Okay. So let's just teach class. So I did upload last week's class, even though last week I wanted to do my live outside, and I live in a tropical climate now. And my phone was like, nah, bitch, I don't care where you live. I get too hot, I'm shutting down. And TikTok heats the phone up anyways. So I took it outside in the 80-degree weather. And my phone was like, oh, I can't handle this. I need an ice pack. And it shut down all the way twice. But that being said, thank y'all for tapping the screen. Thank y'all for sharing the live. In fact, I'm going to share the live so that my buddies know that I'm on here, albeit at a different time. But we in here, baby. We in here, okay? We doing this. All right, send it to a couple people that are in class. Okay, so astrology is broken up into many parts. The signs are broken up into many different categories. There's so many ways to categorize the signs. Today we're going to talk about the modalities, which are these here on the left. Right? Yeah, okay. I'm really confused because usually if I have something behind me, like I've had to reverse the video and I'm like, is this your left? Because this is my left. Okay. Anyway, over here on the left is the modalities, and up here at the top of the chart I've created for y'all is the elements, okay? And when I do this in person, usually I'm like, you see me writing it down and creating the chart. Thank you for the heart puffs. Oh, they're so cute. I want to eat them. They look like cotton candy. I'm writing this in front of you so that you see the breakdown. But since we're here on the internet, it's much easier to have the chart already prepared so that you can see the layout, right? So first, let's talk about elements, because I feel like people have a better understanding of elements than they do of the modalities, because there's more language in popular astrology about, oh, I'm a fire sign. Oh, I'm a water sign. I'm an air sign. Okay, air signs represent. And the reality is that you are all of these things, okay? You have all 12 zodiac signs on your chart. You have all elements on your chart. You have all modalities on your chart. It's just which areas are activated by the planets and placements on your chart, right? So you might work like an Aquarius, but you might love like Aries. You know what I'm saying? You might talk like a Capricorn, but you know your passion lies in Pisces or something like that. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right, so let's start with the fire signs. All right, and you can see the symbols here next to them. I don't know how visible it is for you. My phone is kind of small. I upgraded my phone, and I was like, what's the difference between this phone and the other phone? And she's like, the other phone is bigger. And when she said bigger, I thought she meant like those big ass phones that like the teenagers be having. But she just meant the same size phone that I had previously. And I should have said that's the size that I want. But now I have this little phone, and I'm going to live with it for 3 years. Maybe more, probably more. Okay. So you can see the symbols. We talked about the symbols the last few classes. Right? Aries, the ram, has the little V with the horns on it. Leo is the lion head, body, and tail. And Sagittarius is the arrow being held by the centaur. Right? Sagittarius is always pointing on the mark. So what are some things that y'all already know about fire signs? Like what are the fire sign stereotypes? You know, they're fiery, right? What do y'all know? What do you notice about fire signs, or what you've read, or what you've heard, or what you've seen on TikToks and on YouTube about fire signs? What's poppin'? I'll start you off with one. They don't back down from confrontation. Fire signs are the confrontation, right? Like, who's the drama? Fire signs are the drama when it comes to confrontation. They are not afraid, right? Welcome on in, Summer. What's up? Yeah, I don't know what time zone you're in, but I don't experience daylight savings time in the part of the world where I'm in. So I was like, oh yeah, it's 11 o'clock. Let's get started. And then I was like, oh, right. The United States is daylight savings timing it. So y'all are 2 hours ahead of me now instead of 1. But we're talking about fire signs right now. So what's a stereotype about fire signs? I was just saying fire signs don't back down from confrontation, right? Oh, y'all, TikTok really wants you guys to tap the screen. I appreciate it when you tap the screen. Please. I appreciate it. Thank you so much when you drop some likes here. Just like that. Boop, 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 boop. So fire signs are not afraid of confrontation, right? And Aries, the first sign of the natural zodiac, it actually goes Aries, Taurus, Gemini, right? Leo, Virgo, Libra. Well, no, it doesn't. Leo, Cancer. It's hard to do on this chart because of the way it's laid out. It's not laid out in such a way that that's going to be easy to do. But it is Aries, Taurus, Gemini. So Aries is the first sign of the natural zodiac. Carries that fire energy, a little spicy, not afraid of some confrontation. Aries actually wants to fight. They want to get in the confrontation. They're built for that stuff, right? They're built to gotta be starting something. It's probably a fire sign. It's probably a fire sign that's starting something. Or if something needs to get started, right? And because the natural zodiac starts with fire, right? And it's a cardinal sign, and we'll get more into what cardinal signs are about in a bit. Hey, Neko, meow, meow. How are you? Fire signs or Aries specifically, is trying to get it started, is trying to begin the cycle, right? If there's something that needs getting done, our Aries is all about that business. Leo comes in the room and everybody's like, who's come in? You know who's a Leo? You know who's a Leo and is like super hot right now? Dochi. Dochi is such a great textbook example of what Leo energy is. She's super creative, right? Always popping out with a new outfit, the way that she performs, the way that she presents herself, the hairstyles that she's rocked. Like, Leos are all about the hair, baby. They are all about the hair. And her hair is always like, it's a part of the performance, right? And not just in like that Beyonce way where she's like, you know, it's part of the choreography. It's like her hair in her performances is telling a story. I remember a couple of years ago, was it last year or the year before, when Leo Dochi performed at the BET Awards, and there was like a wig reveal, you know, like wig reveals, that's like some Leo shit. But anywho, Leos are getting it started, right? And like, when there's some confrontation online, you can go and look at Dochi's account right now. If there is some confrontation online that involves this fire sign woman, then she is going to address it, and she's going to address it aggressively, as she should. And I for one want to see more of that in general, like from artists, because they are people, right? Celebrities are people. Oh, look, it's 222 likes. Thanks for that, y'all. Appreciate it when y'all tap in the screen. Thanks for coming in, y'all. Welcome. We're talking about elements and modalities of astrology. I'm talking about fire signs right now, so y'all are just in time. Y'all are right in time. What's up, Amy? How are you? Welcome on in. How you feeling? I'm teaching Astrology 101. And y'all, just as like a quick commercial break, I'm about to do some really cool stuff coming up. If you're really interested in like how astrology applies to your relationships and all that kind of stuff, like stay tuned, because some really cool stuff is coming up. I'm doing a collaboration with another TikTok creator. Oh, thank you for the heart, Mia. That's my goal today, y'all. It's just one coin. It gets you on the team. We stay connected. Very, very cool. I think it's a little fun feature that TikTok has. And if you're watching this in the future, if I'm reaching you in the future and you're watching on YouTube, then please subscribe if you enjoy this content. Also, YouTubers, this content, and I want to say the upcoming relationship content, where I'll be doing this with another creator. Yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Stay tuned. It's gonna be so good. We're gonna be talking about. I can't talk about it yet. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned to my TikToks. Make sure that you're following. Make sure that you're subscribed. And if you want to get my live notifications, click on my username, and there will be a little bell that appears right about here. Click on that bell. I don't go live super often, and even when this relationship thing starts, I'm just going to be going live like one more time a week on Thursday. Today's Wednesday, so there'll be a live tomorrow afternoon in the future. So I'm not going to bombard you with alerts, okay? Promise. All right, back to the conversation about the fire signs. Rawr. You know, fire signs are very rare. Like even the mutable sign. Rawr. Even the mutable sign, right? And we'll get more into what mutable means in a moment. Well, in the near future. So Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign. So what does that mean? It means that they are still aggressive, right? My bestie is a Sagittarius. She's a Sagittarius sun and an Aries rising, but she's not trying to get in no fights. She's an introvert, you know what I mean? Like she's not about all that, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Folly? Welcome in. Thank y'all for tapping the screen. Thank y'all for sharing the live. Thank y'all for the heartmies, and all the other gifts. I really appreciate it. So Sagittariuses suffer from foot and mouth disease, and what I mean by that is that like there's not a big filter between what's happening up here and what comes out of their mouths. But it's not an entirely bad thing, right? Like it does get them in trouble. Their mouths do get them in fights, just like somebody else that you might know. But you know, they're a fire sign, so they're supposed to activate us. They're supposed to engage our irritation a little bit, right? Like Aries is ruled by Mars, Leo's ruled by the sun, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter, right, it's perfect for mutable signs. It's perfect for mutable signs because it makes things bigger. It enhances what it's around, which also means that, you know, they be doing the most. So, you know, these hot, spicy planets, well, this planet, the sun is hot. Mars is not hot in comparison to us. Yes, I worked with a Sag and her mouth was going all the time. Yes. They're like Geminis if, you know, Geminis were a little less intellectual based and more like if they wanted to fight a little bit more. And, you know, Sagittarius is also really all about the knowledge, just like Gemini, just like Virgo, right? Hi, cutie. What's up? My little human. Excuse me, you're on my mic. Thanks. I love the hugs, though. Love the hugs. So, yeah, Sagittarius is what a fight, right? Fire is aggression. Fire is activating, right? Fire is trying to get it started, right? Don't start none, won't be none. All right, let's move on to earth signs. So earth sign energy, I would say earth sign energy is very like, it's giving fixed. It's giving fixed. If you already know what fixed means, then you know what I'm getting at, but let's talk about it. So earth, also something I want you to think about as I move through these signs are like, what are the qualities of the actual elements, right? Fire is hot and will burn you, right? It will boil the water. It will, you know, start the campfire. It will level down a forest full of trees if it's real dry. What's up, Moody? Welcome on in. So the qualities of the element are definitely within the vibes of the signs, right? And earth, what is earth? What are some things that you think about earth? Morning! Welcome on in. Buenos dias. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Kayla, what's poppin'? Welcome on in. So what are some qualities of earth, right? One thing that comes to my mind when I think about earth and earth signs is being grounded. Hey, Stella, stable, Stella. Consistent.
Stella.
Yeah, like in Princess Peach. Stella, there's a character in Princess Peach Showtime. Hard and steady, facts. Hard and steady. The earth is going to be there. It's under our feet. It's giving us foundation, right? So having that foundation and that strength, right? Earth signs are strong.
I'm playing a game where I feel like I can tell it's Among Us.
Oh, okay. I don't know about all that, but okay. All right, earth signs. Earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, right? Have that fixed quality because the earth is fixed, right? So like a fixed earth sign is probably the most fixed of all earth signs, which, I mean, have any of y'all met a Taurus? Do y'all have Taurus highlighted in your chart? Do you have Taurus placements in your chart? Or second house placements? I have second house placements, and it is exactly where I am. I am very stubborn and single-minded and consistent about the stuff that is in my second house. Yes. And like, what does that feel like for you in your Taurus spaces. I have a friend, Taurus. Okay, what's your Taurus friend like? What are some qualities that you would say about that friend? I love One Piece. It's an anime, if y'all haven't seen it, and it's one of the best pieces of media that I've ever engaged with in my life. I'll be right back. I have to check. Oh, you're checking for second house and Taurus placements? Okay. As we talk about earth signs, I think it's prudent to highlight Taurus because it is a fixed sign, because it is an earth sign. Hard-headed, very set in her ways. Yes, I had a Taurus friend who's also very set in her ways. And let me tell you, these earth signs, consistent, hardworking, nose to the grindstone, all of them, even the mutable sign, right? Virgo is probably the most focused mutable sign. It's true. I mean, Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, I would not say that those are naturally focused people. They can be, depending on other placements. But inherently, would I say a Sagittarius, Gemini, or Pisces is a focused person? No, I would not. I would say they have plenty of other lovely qualities, but focused is not it. Virgo, that earth, that dependability, that groundedness, that strength keeps Virgos focused on their goals, on how they are serving others. Very dependable, definitely, Kayla. So anyhow, Tauruses, we said very stubborn. Capricorns are focused on the goal. That's their motivator, right? Like whether the goal is the bag or the goal is caring for their families or the goal is, success and achievement. I have no Taurus in my houses, but I have a lot of Capricorn. So that's probably what your Taurus friend admires about you, right? Taurus has a lot to learn from Capricorn and vice versa, right? But Taurus has Capricorn in the ninth, and Capricorn loves some Taurus. So, okay, so earth signs, bada bing, bada boom. All right, you have 6 different Cap placements. Wow, there's a lot of Capricorn stelliums for millennials. There were a couple of years where there were just 8 different planets, not 8, but literally 6 planets in Capricorn for a little while. I have Taurus in my 11th house, so you make friends with Tauruses. That's your my tiny brain can't do it. Taurus, Gemini, Cancer rising? Yes, and I'm a Sun Aquarius. Okay, that makes sense. When the sun is in Aquarius, there's probably some planets in Capricorn, maybe some planets in Pisces. Yeah, that's totally typical. Okay, air signs, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Okay, so when we think about air, right, and the element of air, what comes up for you, right? Air is everywhere we go, right? Much like earth, air, and water, we're kind of engaging with at all times in some degree or another. Earth is below us. We always have a ground beneath us unless we're in an airplane, but there's still something under our feet. Air is all around us at all times. And if it's not around us, then we're in the water, right? And water is inside our bodies. It's literally inside your body. Air, powerful, flowing, life, right? And I mean, we need all of these things to live as modern humans, right? Millennia ago, humans existed without fire, but now, without being able to heat our food, warm our houses in certain climates, right? Life just isn't the same. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the follow. Hi, Ravioli. I like that username. It just invoked a funny thing for me.
Frankfurt and Redwood. or dead.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I think I will be dead.
Absolutely. I need this class. Oh, I'm so glad that you're in here. I'm going to be posting after this class. I'm going to be posting a quiz in the Google Classroom, and this will be like the first actual quiz that you guys engage with. And it's an open book test, so like you can screenshot this chart right here, and you'll be able to just use this chart to take the quiz. You can also Google stuff if you want to. I recommend not just using this chart. Here, I'll get back out of the way. I recommend not just using this chart. I recommend doing some research, like going online and looking stuff up, reading about what the internet has to say about fire, earth, air, water, cardinal, fixed, immutable qualities of signs. Did y'all get your screenshots without my face in front of your stuff? Okay, I need to take a brief break. I'll be right back, you guys. While I'm away, please engage with the chat and tap the screen, share the live. Okay, I'll be right back, y'all.
Holy Fiend is the imposter, bro. No, Holy Fiend. Cutie was an imposter. There's one more imposter. And wait, where is he? Bo. Where is he?
Do me a favor.
Huh?
Can you hand me that microphone I put down?
Okay.
Something else that you all can be doing while I am taking this quick break, because I have the microphone with me. So hi, y'all. Is interacting with each other to some degree. Like we've been in class for about a month now. We've definitely had 4 weeks worth of classes. You guys should be, one, following each other. I definitely think that that would be super helpful in the process of building community and supporting each other in this process of learning astrology, as well as just like communicating like what's interesting about astrology to you. How did you get into astrology in the first place? And if you're watching this in the future on YouTube, I apologize for the pause. And in the comments of the YouTube video, you guys can do the same thing, right? Interact with each other, share what it is that you love about astrology, how you got into it. I will share that I've always been interested in astrology since I was a little girl. I have an Aquarius stellium, and Aquarius is the sign that rules over astrology. 11th house rules over astrology. And so I was always really fascinated with the fact that the stars have an influence over us, right? And then that 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 interest was like really nurtured by Sailor Moon. And if you're not familiar with the Sailor Moon anime, yeah, I'm really into anime. Oh, and I didn't get into One Piece. I was talking about Earth signs and Tauruses. So let me talk about Sailor Moon first, and then I'll get into what I was going to say about One Piece and Tauruses. So Sailor Moon is a anime where that focuses on this little girl who is a teenager, and she gets, finds out that she has access to magical powers and has to save the world, and she works with these teammates. And it's planetary based, right? There's a Sailor Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. Later we meet Sailor Neptune, Sailor Uranus, Sailor Saturn, and Sailor Pluto, right? So like all of the Sailor Moon characters, like any like really good anime, have birthdays, right? Not with a year, but like Sailor Moon's birthday, I want to say it's like June 30th or something like that. She's a Cancer, right? That could be absolutely wrong. I'm just like making an assumption based on, I know when the Cancer dates are. So Cancer is ruled by the moon, right? Sailor Mercury is a Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And that really increased my interest in astrology, because I was like, whoa, the woman who wrote this anime really broke that shit down, and their personalities are very much like Sailor Mercury, for example, a Virgo who is interested in becoming a doctor when she grows up, right? Again, like we were talking about earth signs, very focused. Virgo is really like about that knowledge acquisition, and helping and healing others. And in the anime, she's the first Sailor Scout that Usagi or Serena, depending on whether you watch the Japanese version or the English language version, she's the first one that she meets, which is spectacular. Okay, I'll be back in just a moment. If you haven't followed your fellow classmates, please do that. Introduce yourselves to each other. And I'll be back in about 10 seconds. I recommend both of them highly. Oh, poop. Okay. Do I have the right one? Orange, because one of these was dead.
Mama, can I tell you this thing and then you hang up?
Okay, quickly, please.
Okay, he was in the same spot as I, and then he was right above the thing that I was hiding in, and then he almost killed me. He didn't see me.
Oh, wow. Okay, thanks for the rose. Thanks for being patient with me, y'all. Okay, so, yeah, AstroSeek, Astro.com, definitely great tools. Astro.com has some really great articles. Okay. And Sailor Moon and One Piece. I'm telling you, really good. Love Sailor Moon. I love Sailor Moon too. Okay. You have to go back to work. Enjoy the rest of class, everyone. I'll catch up on YouTube. Awesome. I can't answer that phone call right now. Okay. So let's talk about air signs. And we got like 10-ish minutes left. So we'll get into water signs and the modalities next class. Okay, so air signs. We talked about them. You know, air is like, all of these elements are essential to life, but, you know, air fills your lungs. You know, you can't breathe, you're in trouble. Air is also literally flighty, right? It gives us the ability to fly. Birds are moving on it, and it's always, you know, it's moving, right? To some degree. You'll hear phrases like the winds of change, right? So what does that mean for the qualities of these signs, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini? Well, it means that air signs can be a little flaky sometimes, you know, whether they intend to be or not. Air signs are really knowledge. If you show too much interest in an air sign, they run. That can be true too. It can be overwhelming for air signs, right? Have somebody be like, "Hey, I think you're cute." What? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Are you kidding me?
Mama, there were 2 more people that didn't die.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, air signs want to do their own thing too. Air signs definitely independent. I would say is language for the air signs. Like, sir, I am just trying to live my life. Right. And Libras specifically are extremely interested in one-on-one relationships, extremely interested in like, what are the dynamics? What are the rules of engagement? What are the boundaries, right? Very independent. Oh, thank you for the rose. It smells so lovely. Thank you. So, you know, all air signs are very interested in human interaction in some way, which is very interesting because they tend to be kind of nervous about human interaction to some degree, right? Like Libra is interested in one-on-one relationships. Oh, thank you for joining the team. Appreciate it. And Aquarius is interested in like the grand scheme of what social interaction means, right? Like what is a society and how does it function? How do we govern ourselves, right? Capricorn rules over government, but Aquarius tends to actually be involved in the government, right? Which I think is very interesting. Gemini is interested in communication, right? And all 3 of these signs are very in communication heavy, right? Like Aquarius rules over the internet. You know what I'm saying? Gemini is like, how do you share information? How do you see it and then process it and then digest what you've said and then communicate about it? Love people and hate it all at once. Yeah, like Aquarius is much better with large groups of people than they are one-on-one, honestly. There have definitely been points in my life where I was doing public speaking to like groups of, you know, 150, 200 people, large groups of people, feeling very comfortable and at home in that space. Like I actually woke up this morning thinking, you know, isn't it wild that like some people are like deathly afraid of public speaking, but that is just not me. That's not me. I feel much more comfortable with that than like, oh, now I have to interact with this one person one-on-one, you know. Okay, you know, they're I'm about to get red, you know. The smaller, the more exhausting. Fact. And for a long time, because I enjoy, you know, having that big public but like presenting to large groups or to classes, teaching class, giving talks. I used to be in a band and did performances in a band, like musical performances, singing in front of large groups. I love karaoke. I thought I was an extrovert, but am I an extrovert? You know, like when it comes to one-on-one, when it comes to my neighbors, when it comes to, you know, family. Ooh. Ooh. You know, and Gemini is much more extroverted in that nature. And like Gemini rules over cousins and neighbors and all that kind of stuff. You know, they want to interact with the one-on-one. They want to be like, and sometimes they don't want to be. Sometimes Gemini truly is an introvert, but they don't know how to stop communicating, right? Like they're narrating to you, right? Sagittarius does this to a lesser degree. Like I was saying earlier, Sagittarius has the foot in their mouth. But the air energy of Gemini is like this free flowing communication constantly, right? So they have a difficult time shutting it down, you know? So the air signs are interested in communication. Earth signs are interested in getting it done and finding the goal and staying focused on it. Fire signs are ready to activate you, right? And they said what they said, they did what they did, they meant what happened, right? And you got to deal with it. And if you don't like it, then they're ready for the confrontation, right? Fire is about confrontation. So let's try and squeeze water signs in, because I don't want to leave them for last. You know, well, leave them, no apologies with the fire signs. Water signs are emotional and sensitive, like squishy, just like water. When y'all think of the element of water, what comes up for you? What are the vibes of water for y'all? Oh, we're up to 3K. Excellent. Excellent. Love it. Wet. I could take that to a lot of different places, right? Wet, right. Water is emotion, right? If you have a dream where you're like underwater, it's about your emotions, about your feelings. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces are very much in the body too, right? Because we are mostly water. What's up, Spyro? How are you? Our bodies are squishy and we're all wet on the inside, right? We're 80% water, which always feels like way too much to me. But we are mostly water, right? Cancer rules over the body, over the family, over the nurturing parent. Scorpio is ruling over the genitals. So emotional, right? Cancer rules over feelings. Cancer is ruled by the moon, okay? Which is, you know, like diametrically opposed, even though these are not oppositional signs. They're not sister signs, Leo and Cancer, but they're the two signs that are ruled by the luminaries, and they're both in the summertime, which I think is interesting. So Cancer feelings, right? And because they understand feelings so deeply, both like within themselves and within others, they have the potential to manipulate like nobody else. Like Scorpio gets the bad rap for it because they're ruled by Mars, so they got a little bit of fire in them on their father's side. You feel me? I have a granddaughter who is a Cancer, emotional and dramatic. Yes. I'm Cancer, Jupiter, and Scorpio, Lilith, and Pluto. Wow. Yeah. Oh, you love that, Cancer. Oh, you have so much fun, like with your family or chosen family. You love that stuff. You probably have a really big family or a big chosen family. Scorpio, Lilith, people are jealous of how sexy you are, period. However that shows up for you. Right, so my dad is a Cancer. It was rough as an Aquarius. Oh, I can't imagine having a Cancer parent. I had a Pisces parent, which was also very rough. She wanted to possess me because Pisces has Aquarius in the second house, so Pisces perceives Aquarius as their possession. They're the keeper of Aquarius, and Aquarius is not to be kept, honey, not to be kept. But anyway, and I'm a Scorpio rising, so she just loved me. She loved me, and I loved her too. But let's see. Okay, so Scorpio rules over the genitals, sex, eighth house stuff. Like, what can you get from other people, right? What are other people willing to get for you? What are you willing to do for other people, right? But like, mostly like, what are you receiving? Whether it be like financial, right? I feel like, you know, when you talk about receiving, that's something that people think about, but like also like sexual gratification, and those sort of things. Revenge, definitely on the list. Like, Scorpio is a karmic sign, right? Scorpio says, oh, you did this, well, you receive this in return. If you're really kind and loyal and loving to a Scorpio, then they are going to give you that same energy back. If you betray them, you know, it's the tides rolling in and out. You know, if you put an oil spill into the water, right, the water is not just going to like suck it in and poop it out. The water is going to put it back on the shore. You brought this to me, here, you can have it back, right? And the same with Cancer and Pisces. They're just as capable of that, but they're a little more about it, you know. There's more, I would say the energy is a little more subtle with Cancer and Pisces. Although it may not feel subtle when you're on the receiving end, though, because they are perfectly capable of harm, right? Pisces is very sweet, and the opposite sign to Virgo, you know, there's a lot of service, a lot of giving in that water. The juicy, sweet parts can be very apparent, but, you know, just like Scorpio, what you put into the water is what you get out, right? The vessel that the water is put into is what shapes Pisces, right? And if they are shaped by violence, then they will become a violent liquid, okay? But the depths of all of this water in these signs and the way that they express themselves is super deep, right? There's a lot of depth to the way that these signs show up, definitely emotionally led by their intuition. Water is magic, right? And water, just like they say in, what movie was that? Frozen 2. Water has a memory, right? This is definitely not, they may forgive, but they will not forget, period. Point blank. They will forgive, but they will not forget. Water never forgets. And there's so much creativity, so much magic, so much connection to music. And music is an audible spell, right? Like, whether there are lyrics to it or not, it's an audible spell. So the magic continues. The magic continues. Anyhow, what else comes up for y'all for water signs? I think that water, yes, emotional, yes, creative, yes, this connection to life, the spirit of life. I was watching Avatar last night, and the live action. I've never been able to get into the first Avatar cartoon. It is just too much of a kid's cartoon for me. I just can't do it, y'all. But the live action really got me together. They cleanse with their emotions. Ooh, I like that. They cleanse with their emotions. Thanks, Kayla. Because water is cleansing. It gets all the filth off of you, right? Once the emotions come, they are over it. Oh, I love that. I love that. It's cathartic for them. They process their emotion, and that is so factual. That is so factual. Like a cathartic cry. Cancer, I would say all three of those signs are prone to crying, but crying, I feel like, is most associated with Cancer. And Pisces too. Pisces is quick to cry. Scorpio tends not to let it loose as often. Scorpio is a angry crier. They're an angry crier. Like all three of them are angry criers, but Scorpio is more likely to let it out when angry. But all of them are going to express their emotions, and crying is definitely a big part of it. And the world does masculine people who are socialized masculine. Our societies do them a disservice by teaching them not to cry. Teaching your water sign boys not to cry is creating serial killers. It's not that deep, but it is that deep, right? If you're teaching a water sign that they cannot release their water, then what are you doing? You're bottling up that information, right? And water has a memory, and tears release the information. Like your tears have different chemicals in them based on what your emotion is, right? And if you are in distress, your tears come down slower because they're designed for other humans to see and say, oh, this human is having a hard time. How can I help this human, right? That's one thing I can say my dad does well. He will release the water and is okay with it, as they should be. Scorpios are stubborn. They are the fixed water sign. This whole row is stubborn people. But I will tell you one thing. Aquarius and Scorpio are the most flexible of the water signs. Aquarius, because it's an air sign and air is inherently change, right? Aquarius is change, right? Ruled by Uranus, which is like constant change, constant weirdness, right? Expect the unexpected. And Scorpio is the fixed sign of the fall, which is like the season of the most visible change, of destruction, right? Things exist and Scorpio destroys them, right? More of that more karma stuff. And they are stubborn, right? But they expect change, right? Scorpio, people with Scorpio placements, that tide coming in and out. But I would actually use more of a fire story to explain Scorpio in this regard, as being associated with change, is the phoenix. The phoenix, the story of the phoenix. The phoenix is a bird that never dies, right? It's an immortal bird, but it does die, right? It burns itself into ash for itself, right? It turns itself into ashes and then is reborn out of its own ashes. And that happens to Scorpio placement people all the time. Wherever you have Scorpio placements is where you are changing. So if you have the sun, moon, like Dimples, or rising, even more importantly, right? Your identity is constantly changing. If you're a Scorpio rising, your sense of self, Scorpio sun, constantly changing. And with Cancer being ruled by the moon, right? So water phoenix, yeah, exactly, right? Oh, that's a beautiful mental image that I'm getting from that oxymoron. Yeah, in a way. Cancer being ruled by the moon, they are fickle. They're fickle. They're led by their emotions. And because the moon moves most rapidly, it's the fastest thing on the chart, right? Let's go. What's up, Jesse? Welcome in. Cancer tends to have an emotional system that is constantly changing. Like their moods change with the moon. So if you have Cancer placements, which I think Kayla was saying, she's got the Jupiter in Cancer, like what you think is fun, what you enjoy is prone to change, right? Affected by the movements of the moon. So yeah, water signs ruled by emotion. And, you know, all of these placements, right? Fire, earth, air, water. If you have heavy placements in one element, you should spend more time in that element, right? If you're a fire sign, spend more time in the sun, spend more time grilling food, get access to a fireplace, get access to a fire pit. If you have earth placements, then you need to be grounding. You need to be taking your shoes off and walking in the park, walking in your backyard, walking on actual dirt, right? Or in the sand at the beach, you know. Connect yourself to the earth as much as you can, like garden, you know, put your hands in the dirt. Hands in the dirt is really good for everybody, right? There's like enzymes in dirt that you absorb through your hands is really good for your mental health, right? I did some gardening last year. I have Venus in Capricorn, and let me tell you, that garden changed my life. That garden really made me feel better. I have a garden and rarely wear shoes. Nice. And you said you have like a Capricorn stellium, right, Kayla? Air signs, you just need to be outside, right? Get fresh air. Open your windows. Open your windows. I remember one time I went on a tour, and yeah, if you have windows, of course, you should have. What about Venus and Gemini? Open them windows. Open them windows, and like, you know, open your window and talk to your neighbors through the window. Go outside and talk to people. You know, Venus and Gemini, you know, you love to communicate, really interested in the ways others are communicating, reading, all those kinds of things. Yeah, I was on a tour of an older building, and none of the windows in the building open. And I was in there for like 2 hours, walking around, going upstairs, downstairs, all that kind of stuff. That makes sense. Awesome. And I wanted air so bad. And it wasn't hot in there. It wasn't an uncomfortable temperature. I just needed some fresh air. And once I open the door and go outside, and it was a windy day too, that wind hit my face and I came back to life. I was like really kind of grumpy inside and frustrated. But once I got that fresh air, honey, boom, I was back to life. Water signs, obviously showers, baths, pools, oceans, lakes, the rain, go be out in the rain, you know. Venus equals value. Exactly. Love language is talking for Venus and Gemini, definitely. You know, so anyway, if you have heavy placements in any of these categories, then you definitely like pay attention specifically to where your sun, moon, and rising are, right? And the next signs I would think about are your Venus and your Jupiter, right? What are the things that you like, are attracted to, others are attracted to in you, and what do you really truly enjoy? What's fun? What do you need the most of, right? And that's going to break it down for you. Most of my chart is air. Most of my chart, air signs. And I have placements. I have placements on all of these, but most of it's air. I have very important water placement and a very important fire placement, and I have an earth placement as well. So anyhow, that's the elements. We'll talk about modalities next week. So I want you guys to think about where these placements are in your chart. If you didn't already get a screenshot, get a screenshot of this. I'm actually going to put this into the Google Classroom as well, so that you can look at it whenever you want. If you weren't in here, and if you weren't in here and you're watching on YouTube, then you can also. Well, I don't think you can screenshot YouTube anymore. I tried to screenshot YouTube recently and it was like, nah. So this will be in the Google Classroom, and I'm going to post that quiz about the modalities in like maybe an hour or so. Thanks for the class. You're welcome. I hope everyone has a great day too. Thanks, Kayla. Thanks for coming to hang out, and we'll do class again I guess it will be at, what time is it Eastern time right now? It's 1:13 Eastern. Is that what time it is right now? Is that fact? Or am I making that up? Great class. I'm so glad. Thanks, Dimples. It's 1 Eastern time. Okay, great. All right, so class will be at 12:05 because that's early enough for me. Okay, it will be 12:05. I'm not experiencing daylight savings time where I live, so I'm not getting up any earlier. Class is staying at the same time. Okay, 1:13 Eastern. Awesome. Okay, thank y'all so much, and I will see you next class. And stay tuned. If you're on TikTok, click here. If you're not already following me, follow me, and click on the bell to make sure that you're getting alerts when I go live. If you haven't joined the team, join the team because TikTok loves that. And stay tuned because I'm doing a collaboration where we're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about polyamory. We're going to talk about astrology and the way that it pertains to your love life. And one of the first things that I think we're going to talk about is why astrologically you might be seeking out a relationship that feels like your parent relationship. Ooh, I said it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, so that's enough teasing about upcoming stuff. I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks for coming through and see you in the next class.
You will